Hey folks, I'm Steve Adderholt, the race director for the Sedona Canyons 125. This is the 2025 runner briefing for the Sedona Canyons 125 race. This is our third running of the race, and we're going to go through a lot of details here. First item to note, I am going to do an in-person runner briefing and cover all the same topics that we're about to cover now at the start line right after packet pickup closes. At 7 p.m. I'll be doing it, and then followed by a Q&A session. The thing that will be included in that, other than the Q&A, is a update from our course marking crews. So feel free. You can either watch this or you can stay for the one at the start line the night of packet pickup, or vice versa, or you can watch both, whatever you want to do. Okay, let's jump right in. The schedule for the upcoming race, Friday, May the 2nd, this coming Friday, we have a packet pickup for all race distances at the Aravaipa headquarters in Phoenix. There are no drop bags, and there will be limited merch available. That's for folks that are going to be in the Phoenix area. It's a convenient option, so you don't have to drive all the way to where the packet pickup locations are. On Sunday, May the 4th, at the 250 start line, we also have packet pickup for all race distances at the 250 start line, Deep Canyon Ranch. We'll have food trucks there. We ask that you follow the posted speed limit. 15 miles an hour is the posted speed limit in Deep Canyon Ranch. They have told us that we might not be invited back if you don't follow that. So please drive slow through Deep Canyon Ranch. NAC is doing a shakeout run at 2 p.m. Anybody's welcome to attend that. And then we'll have the packet pickup running from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. again for all race distances, drop bags, and merch as well. The Sedona Canyons 125 specific packet pickup happens in Jerome at the start line on Tuesday, May the 6th. That'll open up at 4 p.m. at the Gold King Mine Ghost Town. That's where the start line is. It is not at the Jerome aid station. So if you're going to check in, don't go to the Jerome aid station. It's at the Gold King Mine Ghost Town. We will have food trucks there for you that evening and then into the morning as well. So packet pickup will be going from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'll do that runner briefing with the Q&A and course updates from the course markers at 7 p.m. right there at the arch. And then you can also drop your drop bags, and we'll have merch available right there too. When you go through the packet pickup process, we're going to check for a few things. We're going to check to make sure you have a GPS-enabled device with the course file downloaded. Most people are using their phone, but we're going to make sure you have that course file downloaded, which it is finalized, by the way. We'll get into that in a second. We're going to confirm that you have Race Command's phone number programmed into your phone. You'll be receiving a text even before you come to packet pickup. That phone number is 602-830-4526. It's also on your bib for the race. Unfortunately, if you have an international phone number, our text will not go to you, and vice versa as well. So if you have an international number and you want to receive texts, try to find somebody who has a phone number in the U.S., and then we can get that switched for you. Just send a text to that phone number saying, hey, this is bib number whatever. This is the phone number I'm going to be using for the race. So feel free to do that. You're going to receive your runner bag with a bunch of awesome items in it. You'll get 2 race bibs. One is a thicker race bib that we will put on a bib belt for you. This race goes for a long time through lots of temperature changes, so it's really easy to just take that bib belt on and off. And then you'll also receive a standard Tyvek bib with the safety pins as well. We will have a drop-off shoe donation for used shoes through Souls for Souls. And then we'll be asking for, if you have a crew chief, your crew chief contact information. It's a really quick survey to fill out to give us your crew chief's contact information. Really useful for us to have that in lots of different scenarios of the race. If you don't have a crew chief, totally fine. You don't have to submit it. But if you do, that link will be available at packet pickup. Wednesday morning, race morning, May the 5th, 5:45 a.m. to 6:45 a.m. We're going to be issuing those spot trackers. Hopefully you have a pack and we can put it up high. If you have an Ultra Aspire pack, there is a sleeve made specifically for those spot trackers. How convenient. And then you can also drop off your drop bags in the morning at the start line on race morning. We'll have coffee, food truck, and restrooms available. The race mass start is at 7 a.m. and you pretty much right away you'll join the 250 course. You're also on the Mingus Traverse course right there, and you'll be in the front of the pack with those races. Rules for the race: numerous gates that we go through. Please close those gates behind you. You cannot receive outside aid outside of an aid station. So pacer, crew, a pacer cannot mule stuff for you along the course and hand it to you as they're pacing. Your crew cannot meet you anywhere out on the course except for a 1/4 mile bubble from the aid station. So that 1/4 mile bubble is considered the aid station. So if your crew has a vehicle and you're parked within a 1/4 mile, the runner can access that crew vehicle as they come into the aid station, before they go to the aid station, after they go to the aid station, both, whichever. So a 1/4 mile radius around the aid station is considered the aid station. There's a little exception to receiving aid out on the course. We have encouraged the local community to support the race. We think that's awesome. So if there's a lemonade stand or water along the course, and that's set up by a local that lives along the course that's providing that aid to any of the runners that pass by, feel free to partake. That will not disqualify you by any means. If you do need to drop out of the race, you have to do so from an aid station. We want you to fill out a drop form, and we need to get your spot tracker from you. So drop at an aid station if you must. Unfortunately, no dogs for this race. There are numerous aid stations where they specifically have a rule of no dogs. A couple of years ago, we had a volunteer and 2 runners bit by a dog, so it's our rule, unfortunately, going forward. So if your crew has a dog in their vehicle, it's got to stay in the vehicle. It can't come out to the aid station. Let's talk about required gear. So along the whole course, the entire time, there are a few pieces of gear that you have to have for the whole race. Those are a cell phone, a GPS-enabled device with the course file downloaded. Usually those are the same thing, a cell phone and a GPS-enabled device with the course downloaded. Headlamp, collapsible cup, space blanket, and whistle. So those you have to carry the entire race. There are sections of the course where are aid stations where you have to check out and show the required gear. Those are at specific locations along the course. And we're basically checking for cold weather gear as you head into, a cold area. So those pieces of required gear are gloves, warm hat, long sleeves, insulatory upper, meaning a upper with some insulating properties like a fleece or a puffy jacket. It will get very cold. It looks like it will be well below freezing up on the plateau and at Mingus Mountain. So be prepared for those colder temperatures. And then if it was raining or snowing, we would require a waterproof jacket with a hood. Doesn't look like it's going to be any of those things. The required gear at the following locations that we're going to talk through, and that standard gear that the runners have to have the entire race, is also required of pacers. So if you have a pacer out on the course, they have to have the required gear, and we will be checking you and the pacers when you check out of the following aid stations. So Sedona Ranger Station, that's before you get up onto the plateau where it's going to be cold, really cold at night. The Muns Park aid station and the Fort Tutill aid station. So those 3 locations, we're going to be checking your gear. You do have to check out of the aid station, and that's where we'll check your gear. The weather is looking fabulous. It is going to be quite warm on Wednesday in Sedona and then quite cold up on the plateau. So be prepared for that drastic swing in temperature from daytime to nighttime. The course is final. It has been final for a few days. I just like to wait until the Wednesday before the race to release the course file because there's always last-minute tweaks. So that is available. You can find the course file on cocodona.com. Make sure you go to the Sedona Canyons page, and then you can download it from CalTopo. An item to note, there are 3 files in the CalTopo file for Sedona Canyons 125. Those are the 2 sections. So we're going to talk about it in a second, but there's a section where you have to skip running and ride a shuttle. So that's A and B. They're not joined together. We also have an A and B that have a direct as a crow flies line connecting the 2. That's called the joined file. So that's in there because some people's watches don't play well when you try to download 2 files that aren't connected. So you can download whichever one you want. The course is 126.2. How awesome is that? It's a marathon plus a 100-miler. That's really great. So if you're like, man, this is 126 miles, that's because that's that as a crow flies connection between the 2. So be cognizant when you go to download it, make sure it's the GPX format that you're downloading and select which files you want downloaded as you do that. We are a cupless race. We will have hot cups at every aid station for you so that you can have hot chocolate, tea, coffee, ramen, broth, those items. Cold cups, you're on your own for. You are going to get a really awesome silicone reusable cup that you can just roll up and put in your pack. That's going to come to us from Ultra Aspire. Thank you, Ultra Aspire. So no excuse for not having a cup with you because you're going to get one when you check in. For your crew, there are 2 aid stations. One aid station that we are asking your crews to drop their trash and recycling. That's Fort Tutill. We'll have a couple of dumpsters right by the entrance to the aid station. We will have volunteers sorting that recycling. So please help us out and have your crew refrain from putting any trash or recycling at any aid station except for Fort Tutill. Your drop bags. So your drop bags, we're asking 60 liters or less for all of your drop bags, even the direct to finish bags. 60 liters is quite a large bag, so hopefully you'll be able to follow that. Your bib numbers are posted. They were posted to Ultra Sign Up. We took that down because I made a couple of mistakes in the assigning the bib numbers. Ultra Sign Up has a lot of quirks. This is one of them. You kind of have to do it manually by hand, and manually with little sleep leads to mistakes by Steve. So it is, you can find the bib assignments go to cocodona.com and there's a button that says bib assignments. There were really only 3 runners that got the wrong bib. So it's not mass hysteria, but those bib numbers can be accessed on the Cocodona website. You can have a draw bag that goes directly to the finish line, but just note that all of the drop bags go to the aid station, and as you move them to the used drop bag pile, they will periodically get shifted to the finish line. So all of your drop bags go directly to finish. The Mingus Traverse distance will be on your course for a couple of aid stations. Those Mingus Traverse drop bags, it's really just the Dead Horse aid station. We're going to have the 125 drop bags in one area of Dead Horse and the Mingus Traverse drop bags in the other. And those used drop bags, after you've used them at Dead Horse, we want you to put it in the used drop bag pile for the 125s. Don't put it in the used drop bag pile for the Mingus Traverse runners, because those are going to Sedona. They will not go to Flagstaff to meet you there. So please don't mix that up. We're going to make it as easy as we can with really good signage for you. But you're at mile 10, so hopefully you'll have your wits about you at Dead Horse Aid Station. We talked about bib numbers. Let's talk about the course, our favorite thing. So this runner briefing that I'm running through right now, I'm also going to do in person at the start line at Pack and Pickup the night before the race at 7 p.m. I'll also include the Q&A and updates from our course markers. As you leave the start line to go through Jerome, City of Jerome has asked you to please stay on the sidewalks. Last year, the mayor gave me a call during the race saying that the runners were not staying on the sidewalk, and I don't want that phone call again. So, it may be a little bit of a Congo line, but that's the way these starts are. Jerome is a really cool town, so just enjoy it. Stay on the sidewalk. It's not a race. Wait, it is a race, but you know what I mean. Leaving Jerome, there is no great way to leave Jerome. We have been given permission from a couple of private landowners to pass through their property leaving Jerome. And so we're really thankful for that because there's no other way to leave Jerome unless it's on 89. So it's not the best path. So it's a very steep path, kind of a not the best surface as you're going, but just be prepared for that. After a little while, after you go through Clarkdale, you're going to pass the Verde River right before coming into Dead Horse. That is below calf height, above ankle height, to give you an idea what the water level there. You will get your feet wet through there. It's you can't avoid getting your feet wet. Going into Sedona, it is going to get very hot on Wednesday. Be prepared for that. There are 2 water stations in Sedona. They're both, one of them is self-serve for the entire race, and one of them is self-serve for most of the time. When you guys are passing through, that first aid station coming in Sedona should have volunteers there to help you fill up. As we leave Sedona, we are no longer crossing Oak Creek. There is a endangered species of garter snake that makes its home in Oak Creek, and so we will pass over Oak Creek, leaving town a new way for the race on a bridge, so you will not have an Oak Creek crossing. There are 2 aid stations in Sedona. The Sedona Posse Grounds aid station is for the 250 runners. That's a change for us this year. The 125 used to go there too. Now, this year, you are going to the Sedona Ranger Station aid station. They're pretty close, but they're in totally different locations. Your aid station is also the finish line of the Mingus Traverse. So as you come into Sedona, there will be a split where you and the Mingus Traverse runners will go right around the airport, and the 250 runners will go left around the airport to the north. Leaving Sedona right after the ranger station, you're going to come back with the 250 course and climb up Schnebley Hill Road and Muns Park Trail and the amazing Hangover Trail. So there's been a lot of to-do about the Hangover Trail. It is probably the most incredible course section of course you're going to see on any running race. There are some slick rock travel on that, and there is some slight exposure in some locations. I say slight because to me it's slight, but other people don't feel that way, but it is an amazing section. So don't be scared of it. Be excited. It is going to be quite an amazing trail. Once you get through that section, right up at the top of that climb is that unstaffed water station. From there on to the finish line at night, it is cold, looking like it might be well below freezing. So be prepared for cold temperatures up there, up on the Coconino Plateau. Foxborough Ranch, so that first aid station after Sedona, is where you're going to start that skip. So you're going to stop running at Foxborough Point. You're going to get into a shuttle, could be your own cruise vehicle, and you're going to drive to the Crystal Point aid station where you're going to get out of the shuttle and keep running. The way that works, the 125 runners are going to need to check out of the Foxborough Ranch aid station. When you do so, the volunteer is going to ask, are you taking one of our race shuttles, or are you taking a shuttle with your crew or a different crew? If you take the shuttle with your crew or a different crew, they're going to mark you off, and you're going to get 15 minutes subtracted from your time at the end of the race. It's about a 15-minute drive. If you're going to take your crew shuttle, you can board that crew shuttle whenever you want and go there, so it takes about 15 minutes. If you're going to board the race shuttle, they're going to timestamp you when you check out of the aid station. You can't receive aid anymore at Foxborough Ranch from that point, and you're going to wait for the shuttle to return. So we're going to be running a continuous shuttle, but there might be a little bit of a wait time until that shuttle shows back up. And then we're going to record the time you get off of that race shuttle at Crystal Point. So however long that time is, that'll get subtracted from your time at the end of the race. So the volunteers are all trained. Just follow their direction. But don't leave Foxborough Ranch on foot. You've got to take a shuttle. One way or another. Okay, when you get to Crystal Point aid station, the 250 runners are going to be running right past the Crystal Point trailhead parking lot. You're going to go into that Crystal Point parking lot where the aid station is, and then you're going to take off on the single track. So you're not running with the 250 runners out of Crystal Point. Then when you arrive at the Muns Park, you've rejoined with the 250 race. That section between Muns Park and Kelly Canyon, there are I think 4 splits where you split away from the 250 and then come back with the 250, split away again, come back, cross over their path. So pay attention, have your phone out, be keeping track. We're going to have it marked really well, but there are numerous places in there where you are passing and splitting away from other race distances, the 250 distance. There is that section from Muns Park to Fort Tutill is a long stretch. It's 40 miles, and there were no pacer swaps in there. So there are no crew or pacer access aid stations in that section from Muns Park to Fort Tutill. There are 2 aid stations, Kelly Canyon and Homestead, but they're really not large enough to handle crew and pacer parking. You'll see as you go through. So we do have a location where your pacers, if they would like, can hike in. It's just less than 3/4 of a mile hike. Well, directions are in the crew guide. Your pacer can park at that location. They can hike up to the pacer swap location, and your old pacer can hike back down. We will have that marked so that pacers can go there. It's pacer swap only. No support for your crew. This is only for the 125, and it's only for a pacer swap. So that new pacer cannot bring you any replacement food or water. They can just join you. That's all they can do. We will have a staff member there making sure that those pacers have the required gear that they need to have with them, because that section is a required gear section. So they need to have all those pieces of gear, just like if they were joining you from Muns Park. Once you get into Fort Tutill, we have a Flagstaff Crest race distance that starts at Fort Tutill. That starts at 7 a.m. on Friday. That'll be around the back of the Packers of Sedona Canyon's 125. You might see those folks starting Friday at 7 a.m. Just after you leave the Fort Tutill aid station, you're going to split away from the 250 and Flagstaff Crest course is going to go one direction. The 125 runners are going to go a different direction. That is a critical split. So make sure you do not head towards Walnut Canyon with the 250 course. And then in that section after Fort Tutill, there are 2 aid stations that are available for the Flagstaff Crest 39-mile distance. You're bypassing that. You might see it if you look in the right place for it. So you'll run near it. But you are bypassing those 2 aid stations. They are not for the 125-mile distance. Your next aid station after Fort Tutill is the FAC aid station. But just so you know, you might be seeing and confused about those 2 other aid stations. That route, the new route for the 125 and the Flagstaff Crest on the west side of Flagstaff is really good. When you leave Fort Tutill, you're on some trails through Fort Tutill County Park. They're great, awesome single track, kind of chunky, flowy single track. And then and in the Rogers Lake and Woody Mountain area, great single track. Go through town a little bit to access the Mars Hill. And you climb up and over Mars Hill, views of Flagstaff, views of Mount Eldon, views of the San Francisco peaks. It is a really cool new section of the course. So there's also a lot of elk in that kind of area west of Fort Tutill. So you may get to see some elk through there. And then the 125 runners can have your pacers and crew and friends and family join you for those last few miles into the finish at Heritage Square. Basically, once you drop down into the city streets of Flagstaff, you're actually on a cinder path through Flagstaff, through that area. It's the Foots Trail. that's where you can have your friends and family join you. We ask that you please respect the traffic in Flagstaff, so that we can keep continuing to allow this tradition of joining your runner through the city streets of Flagstaff. Course marking. Let's talk about course marking. Most of the course is going to have positive markings that look like this, either our standard Aravaipa pin flags or these new heavy-duty bomber pin flags that we've been making. These pin flags have really great reflective capabilities, 4 pieces of reflective on them, and then they'll also have the orange with polka dot as your positive marking direction. So either one of these types of pin flags will be your positive markings for the course. We'll also have places where flagging tape and a reflector is hanging from a tree or bush. All those are your positive markers telling you you're going the correct direction. If you see blue and white checkered tape, you're going the wrong way. This is a wrong way course marking. There will also be, in specific sections, there will be some course signage. So for most of the course, you're going to be following these generic Cocodona signs. Now, they are not straight right or left. They are just generic arrows that can be turned in any direction. These logos are Cocodona without the 250 on them, just generic Cocodona logos. And one will always be pointed up, no matter which way the sign is facing. If you come to a place where the 125 course splits away from other distances, you will have course-specific signage. So like if the 250 and the 125 course splits, you're going to have a Sedona Canyons specific course sign that says Sedona Canyons 125, as well as the other race distance, whatever splitting away, will be at that intersection telling you the 2 race distances go different directions. While those distances are split, you're going to keep seeing these signs. They may be turned straight, right, or left. You'll see Sedona Canyon signs the whole way until the course rejoins, whereas you will see the standard Cocodona signage. So you'll either have, if you're split away from the main kind of 250 course, you'll have your own signage. The rest of the time, if you're together, you're going to have that generic Cocodona signage. There are also times when we'll be running on pavement, so you'll have road stickers, right, left, straight, wrong way. Those will be stuck directly to the pavement. So those are all the different types of course marking. This is a graduate level race. We expect that you have the course file downloaded to your phone and that you know how to navigate. The course is going to be marked really well, but over 125 miles through areas that are heavily trafficked. A lot of times courses signage will get sabotaged. So we expect for you to have that course file downloaded and know where you're going. If you do see some course signage out on the course that needs to be touched up or replaced, send a text to Race Command and we will get somebody out to fix it. Cutoff times. Cutoff times are strict at aid stations, so we're going to hold to those cutoff times. That cutoff is a leaving time. So once that cutoff time happens at an aid station, that bubble, that quarter-mile bubble to access your crew, pops, and that aid station, you have to leave at that cutoff time. You can't be hanging out in a crew vehicle getting aid just outside the aid station. You've got to be out or you're DNF'd at that point. You will be carrying a spot tracker. That spot tracker will be issued to you the morning of race morning. Ideally, we can put it up high on your pack strap. If you have a Ultra Aspire pack, they have a nifty little spot for that spot to go. For parking in Flagstaff. So the parking in Flagstaff is always tough. But when it's NAU graduation weekend, like it will be even harder to find parking in downtown Flagstaff. You can park anywhere in Flagstaff is pay for parking, City of Flagstaff parking. They will be ticketing if you're not paying for that parking. There's an Amtrak location that's 0.6 of a mile south of the finish line. You can pay and park there. That's a large parking lot. We also have a parking lot for Friday during the day when most of the people are finishing the race at Heritage Square. We have the LDS Church parking lot on Cherry Avenue. It's a 0.6 of a mile walk from the finish line. We'll also be having a shuttle run between 8:45 and 10 p.m. on Friday. So basically all day Friday, we'll be running a shuttle back and forth from the Flagstaff LDS Church on Cherry Avenue. That shuttle is going to depart the finish line every hour, but on the 45-minute mark. So the first shuttle is going to leave Heritage Square on Friday. Shuttle's only on Friday, 8:45 a.m. and go to that LDS Church parking lot. And they're just going to be making laps. So every 45 minutes on the 45, they're going to leave Heritage Square. Every hour on the hour, they're going to leave the parking lot at the LDS Church and come back to Heritage Square. So that's between 8:45 and 10 p.m. We'll be running that free shuttle. And thanks to the LDS Church for letting us have that parking. That's really great for us. If you signed up for a pre-race shuttle with us to park in Flagstaff and get shuttled to Jerome, those shuttles are full. If you signed up for the in-town shuttle in Jerome, those shuttles are also full, so no more purchasing of those shuttle tickets. If you did purchase a shuttle ticket, you should have already received communication from us with the details of those shuttles. We are still short on numerous volunteers, so if you have friends or family or crew or pacers that want to even just do a few hours of shift at an aid station, we would welcome that. A lot of the nighttime shifts up on the Coconino Plateau, so that's Foxborough Ranch, kind of to Fort Tutill, that area is where we're short on, especially nighttime volunteers. We will have a live stream going for this event. It's become quite popular. You can tune into that on YouTube. You can find where to tune in on the Cocodona website. That's all I have for you. I know that was quite lengthy. Thanks for bearing with me. We can't wait to see you at the race and at the start line. Best of luck with your next couple of days, and we will see you in Jerome.